Did you know there's a way to enjoy one of the world's most iconic boulevards without any car traffic? I did not know this, and I was delighted to find out. I will tell you about it in a little bit. Definitely add Paris's ritzy Champs-Élysées to your bucket list if you're coming. We didn't come here on our first trip to France because we're not really shoppers, and on our second trip we decided to include walking part of it just to see it on our way up to the Arc de Triomphe. The whole beautiful boulevard is about 1.25 miles, so if you're up for a longer walk, you could start at the bottom. We had already done a lot of walking on this particular day, having seen the Carnavalet Museum in the morning, and we still went on to do the Louvre later on, so we metroed up to the Franklin D. Roosevelt metro stop, and then we walked up from there. This picturesque avenue was first designed in the 17th century and was originally just a route through a bunch of fields in an open area on what was then the outskirts of Paris. It was created for the king and the nobility to have a route from the Louvre Palace to the palace at Saint-Germain-en-Laye, and it was originally called the Grand Cour to differentiate it from the nearby Cour de la Reine, the Queen's Drive, which was a route along the Seine River leading back to the Tuileries Palace. It wasn't officially named the Champs-Élysées until 1709, and I've always wondered about the name. What does it mean? It turns out it is named for a place in Greek mythology, which was a resting place for warriors after their death. I'm not sure if there's an irony there where it ties into the high-end retail shopping scenario that we have today, but it's worth a thought. It is also famous for being the setting for Paris's military parades, especially on Bastille Day as we know it, or what they call La Fête Nationale. And it is most famous for the victory parade of Allied and French forces that took place here in 1944 after the liberation of Paris. If you love the idea of shopping or window shopping ultra high-end retail stores, this avenue is the third most expensive retail real estate in the world, with square footage renting for up to 1 million euros per 1,076 square feet, or about 929 euros per square foot. We did not shop here, but we did walk in and have a lovely lunch where we sat in an upstairs window and were able to look down and watch the avenue and the people. Actually, most of the people looked pretty regular to our surprise, not a Kardashian in sight. And we also had our first experience with a waiter in Paris asking us to add a tip, and when we told him we knew that the tip was included, he insisted, no, madame, not here. Like, he kept asking, and we went ahead and tipped him even though we knew it was wrong, because he'd been so nice about letting us tease him a little bit about stealing his motorcycle that was parked outside. If you start at the bottom near Place de la Concorde, though, you'll be able to also take in the beautiful Grand Palais and the Petit Palais, which were both built for the 1900 World's Fair, and they are both worth a stop to see their beautiful architecture, their exhibits, and some permanent art collections. And on one Sunday a month, this amazing avenue is closed to traffic and is left open for pedestrians to stroll it entirely, to enjoy the sights and take photos of the iconic landmarks with no cars in sight. We did not plan our visit for a Sunday, so we came and walked it and were able to find an empty bench at the top of the avenue where we were able to sit and people watch and watch the crazy roundabout before we climbed up into the Arc de Triomphe, which I will link in a future video. Let us know if you've walked this iconic avenue before and if you think it's worth a visit to go back, or is it a one-time thing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.